You know, print design is this incredible thing. It's what turns a plain t-shirt into a real statement or a simple bolt of fabric into a piece of art. It's such a huge part of the fashion world, and it's what gives the clothes we love their personality. So let's follow the journey of a design from just an idea on a screen all the way to a real, wearable garment.
We have all been there. If you're a designer, you know the feeling. You spent hours, maybe days, in Photoshop or Illustrator, and you finally nailed it. The perfect graphic. The colors are electric, the lines are razor sharp, it just looks absolutely perfect on your monitor. You lean back and you think, yep, this is it. This is the one.
And right there, that is the million-dollar question. Because honestly, the biggest challenge in apparel design isn't just dreaming up something beautiful. It's making sure that the magic you see on your glowing screen can actually be recreated perfectly on a piece of fabric. And this is the classic nightmare scenario, right? On the left, you've got the dream, the sharp, vibrant design that got you so excited. But on the right, well, that's a reality that's all too common. The final product is blurry, it's pixelated, and the colors are just wrong. This is the gap, that digital to reality gap that we are going to bridge today.
So, how does this even happen? Well, it's because print manufacturing isn't just one simple step. It's a chain reaction. A tiny little mistake that you make right at the beginning in the digital artwork stage gets bigger and bigger as it goes through color separation, then printing, and inspection. One small error can end up ruining thousands of dollars worth of inventory.
Let's start where most of these problems actually begin, right at your desk in the digital world. These are the kinds of mistakes that can doom a design before a single drop of ink ever touches fabric.
Okay, first up, probably the most common and totally avoidable mistake of them all, designing with the wrong resolution. This is such a classic rookie error, but you'd be surprised how often even seasoned designers can trip over this one. I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. A lot of images you pull from the web are 72 dpi, and yeah, they look fine on a screen. But you try to print that, and it becomes a blurry, pixelated mess. For pro-level printing, your artwork has to be at least 300 dpi. That is the industry standard, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, the next big digital pitfall is all about color. You know the story. You design something with this gorgeous, vibrant green on your screen, but when it's printed, it comes out looking like a dull, muddy mess. What happened? Well, the culprit is almost always your color mode. See, your screen and a printer basically speak two different languages. Your monitor creates color with light, red, green, and blue light. That's RGB. But a printer uses ink, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, or CMYK. They're just fundamentally different ways of making color. Designing in RGB for a print job is like writing a recipe in French for a chef who only reads English. The results are going to be a surprise, and probably not a good one. And hey, the digital mistakes don't stop there. Sending a fuzzy JPEG file instead of a clean vector file, that's going to cost you quality. And for all-over patterns, if that tile you designed doesn't repeat perfectly, you're going to get these ugly visible seams all over the fabric. These details feel small and technical, but they make all the difference in the world. Okay, so you've totally nailed the digital file. It's high-res, it's in CMYK, it's the perfect file format. You're in the clear, right? Not quite. Now we have to enter the real world, where your perfect digital design has to actually meet and work with physical fabric. This one is huge. The fabric you print on is not just some blank canvas. It's an active player in the final result. Different materials behave in wildly different ways when you introduce ink to them. Just think about it for a second. That super delicate fine line in your design, it might look incredible on a smooth polyester, but it could completely vanish into the texture of a heavy cotton. Ink tends to sink into cotton, but it sits on top of polyester. And certain print methods, like sublimation, literally only work on specific synthetic fabrics. You have to design for the fabric, not just on it. And that leads us right into another really common trap. We all want to create these incredibly detailed, complex pieces of art, right? With dozens of colors and subtle gradients. But the printing method itself might just not be up to the task. This is why, a lot of the time, simpler is actually smarter. Take traditional screen printing. It's done one color at a time, so a design with 12 colors is way more complex and expensive to produce than one with 4. Tiny little details or small text can just get flooded with ink and become a blurry mess. It's all about designing smart, not just designing complex. Now here's a mistake that has absolutely nothing to do with how good the artwork is, but has everything to do with where it ends up on the clothing. A truly great design can be completely ruined by bad placement.
You've got to ask these super practical questions. Is that beautiful part of the design going to get cut in half by a side seam? Is that chest graphic so big it wraps weirdly into the armpits? Is it sitting way too high up by the collar or awkwardly low on the stomach? Placement isn't something you figure out at the end. It's a core part of the design itself.
So, with all of these ways for things to go wrong, how do the professionals get it right time and time again? Well, they don't just hope for the best. They use a specific playbook that's designed to bridge that dangerous gap between the digital and the physical worlds.
The absolute cornerstone of this playbook is something called the Tech Pack. This thing is the Bible for your design. It's not just the artwork. It's a super detailed blueprint that tells the factory exactly what to do. We're talking print dimensions down to the millimeter, the precise placement on the garment, and the exact Pantone color codes to use. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation.
But even with the most detailed, most perfect tech pack in the world, there is one final step, one non-negotiable, absolutely critical step. This is the ultimate safety net. It's the one thing that truly separates the amateurs from the pros.
That's it. You have to, must, get a physical sample. This is your only chance to see it, to touch it, and to approve the real thing before you commit to making thousands of them. It's where you check the color, the sharpness, the feel on the fabric, the placement, everything. Skipping this step to save a little time or a little money is the biggest and most foolish gamble you can possibly take.
Okay, so we've been deep in the weeds with a lot of technical stuff, right? DPI, CMYK, tech packs. But let's zoom out for a second. Why does getting all this technical stuff right matter so much?
Because it all comes down to this. Great prints are great for business, period. A sharp, high-quality print instantly makes a garment feel more valuable. It builds your brand's reputation for quality. And let's be real, it's those iconic, perfectly executed prints that become the viral, must-have pieces of a season.
And that really brings us to the final, most important takeaway here. It's that to really succeed in apparel design, your artistic creativity has to be married to technical precision. The art has to work with the science of how things are actually made. So the next time you're working on a new design, I want you to ask yourself this question. It's easy to make something that looks good on a screen. The real challenge and the true mark of a professional is creating something that isn't just beautiful, but is truly and successfully buildable.